All right. So, welcome. This is Palms Up. And what we're doing here, Palms Up, is Palms Up during the pandemic. And the reason I'm calling this mini series this is because that is a yoga stance for staving off fear. And I wanted to talk to amazing, wonderful people. I feel so blessed in my life to be connected with so many amazing people and talk about this pandemic that's going on that's sort of, well, I would say definitely unprecedented in our lives. And so I'm happy to welcome Robin Anderson. Yay!
Yay!
So please introduce yourself, Robin.
Yes, Kim, I'm Robin Anderson. You may know me as the author of Here, Hold My Wine. So I have had to deal with things like this before, but I'm also work for Texas Capital Bank. I'm a senior vice president and commercial card consultant. And I live in Mineral, Virginia. Yeah, I live in Mineral, Virginia, the epicenter of that big earthquake in 2011.
Oh, snap. That's right. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
oh
and my boss at the time said, figures you'd be at the middle of the epicenter of the earthquake. So when I say I've dealt with things before, I have.
That's too funny. So I wanted to talk with you because first of the stories that you have in your book, and you've been through a lot of hardships. You've been through some stuff.
I have. I think I've even invented stuff.
You've even invented some stuff. Like that earthquake in Mineral.
Yes. Yes.
So I wanted
a great
to talk
party.
about...
You should have been here, girlfriend.
Oh man. Shook the house. Woo!
Yes. Wine was rolling.
So I wanted to talk first because of your amazing job and because of what you bring to your awesome company, you travel quite a bit.
Absolutely. I just got off of 5 straight weeks of travel.
Yeah. So I wondered if you could tell us a little bit about that. I know you travel all the time. How has it been especially challenging during this time?
Well, my 5 weeks started in Vegas, where I was a conference speaker, and I gave 3 different type of speaking topics. And then I flew back, and then I started a 4-week stint, which was going to be 5-week stint in Texas, because my company hired me along with some really other smart people to start a commercial credit card program. So we are down to the wire, and they wanted all hands on deck.
Oh,
and we go live April 1st. So we've been going there every single week. And then we got our first contract with a client. So we've started implementing the client with anticipation of having everything thumbs up April 1st. Mm-hmm. And so Monday night, well, we flew in Monday, and then hardly nobody was in the office. So I said to my boss, this is kind of crazy, because we flew in halfway across the country and there's very few people here because of their children have been taken out of schools and everything. So that Monday night, they did what they called a VPN, virtual private network stress test. Mm-hmm. And so they asked everybody to get on between 7 and 8 p.m. just to test it. It worked fine. So then late Tuesday night, we were working on things for the new client that we have, and our boss called, and 3 of us were together, and he said that the decision was made that we could go home Wednesday. So I flew home Wednesday. I came home, haven't been home for 5 weeks, so I didn't have much in way of groceries or anything. Thursday I went to the store expecting the worst, because everybody was saying the shelves are empty, but I was very surprised when I went to a grocery store and they had everything but paper products. But I'm a big Costco shopper, so I had already had my paper products. So I'm cool, and I have wine, right?
Oh,
that is
heck
the most important thing.
Oh,
so I have plenty of wine. Thing. So I have self-quarantined myself, because since I've been traveling, even though I'm a very healthy person, generally speaking, this is something you can't see. It's hard to fight something that they know very little about, and how to address it, how to stay away from it. All we've heard is wash your hands. My hands are chapped. The palms up, I'm chapped here, okay?
Yes, yes.
See, chapped. So I went out Thursday, and I was lucky that I found a lot of things. And so I've
Good.
decided I'm staying here until April 4th. So I'm kind of keeping people away but I'm running errands for some elderly people that I know that if they need something, I just told them I'll drop it outside their door. They can let it sit there for a couple of days if they need to, and then bring it in. So.
There we go. Oh my gosh. So I wanted to back up. So when you were on the airplane, you had mentioned before when you and I were talking that they spaced y'all out. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but everybody was several seats away from each other. There was somebody, 3 or 4 seats up from me, some behind me, 3 or 4 seats. So we weren't really close.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the airline because there weren't many people traveling. However, I felt like it wouldn't be long before they would start canceling flights because there wasn't hardly anybody on them. So I was afraid I was going to get stuck. So I'm glad that they called us when they did.
Goodness. Yeah, absolutely. So, wow. I also wanted to talk a little bit about, I know from you and I working on your amazing book that, like I was joking with you before, you've seen some stuff. You've been through some stuff.
I have.
Yeah. How has a lot of the experiences that you've been through, and you talk about it, real wonderfully in your book. You talk about it real poignantly, and then also very in a funny way too at times in your book about hard times that you've been through personally and through in business. I know one thing you and I talked about is the fact that it's so hard to socially distance because we are huggers.
Yes. I mean, the Uber driver, and I'm going to write my next article about this, as a matter of fact, and it will probably appear in my book, that he started talking to me and he said, it sounds like you've been through a lot of challenges in your life. He said, what is the one tip you would give me? And I said, my tip is keep going. He says, well, I've always heard never give up. And I said, well, there's a difference to me. Sometimes we have to give up. When you think about it, a bad relationship, a job that you're unhappy with and it's making you miserable, it's making you physically ill. Sometimes there's things we need to give up on, but we should still keep going. So to me, and he thought that was very eye-opening for him. And so when he dropped me off, I'm used to hugging because I'm a Southern gal, right? And he backed up, and I realized the poor man, I was compromising him by wanting to shake hands with him, but I always try to shake hands with the Uber drivers or whoever that takes care of me and thank them for what they've done. And so we had to do the elbow bump and that kind of thing. But, it's the time we live in right now. And then you walk into the airport and people are scattered. People are staying away from each other as much as they can. I was lucky to find some Clorox wipes while I was there, paid too much for them. But then when I was able to sit down or anything, I was able then to clean off the tray in the plane. And you've heard a lot on I'm sure TV, where a lot of the germs are in there. Now the airlines have been doing a pretty good job because you walk in now and you smell Clorox. I mean, it's the new scent that everybody's wearing, right? And so they have been doing things. I even was in a hotel and I could smell a difference, that they are disinfecting more. So I think people are taking this seriously. They're either taking it very seriously or they're not. I have some people that have said to me, oh, the media is making so much out of this. There's probably nothing even to this. This is ridiculous. I'm not stopping my life. And I told them, I said, look, I want you to stop, because that is not what's going to happen. I said, we all need to take this very seriously. If we're just home a couple of weeks to 3 weeks, we can stop this thing, and we need to. And if 750 people one day in Italy pass away from this, then that's a serious problem. And I think one of the reasons why Italy is so affected is that their families all live together, that
Yeah.
they do not move out of the house of their parents unless they get married.
Mhm.
So if they never get married, they all stay together. And then they're big smokers. Not that that means that you're going to get anything, but they have a tendency, that's a big way of life for them.
Yeah.
And so I think it took everybody by surprise. And, you know, if they live in the cities, they're very close. They go out every day to the fresh markets and pick
Yeah.
up their food for the day, right? There's not like us. I have 3 refrigerators and a freezer here, and they're all full. I'm prepared, you know, for the apocalypse.
Yes.
But there they buy what they use every day. So
Yeah.
they were more interactive, I think, than some of us are.
Yeah, most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Um, I remember one of the most powerful chapters in your book was when you described what it was like, because you were in New York City when 9/11 happened.
Yes.
And how would you compare, what's going on today? How are there similarities to what happened then?
Well, this is Robin's theory.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody greater than us is truly giving us a wake up call, because the last time everybody pulled together
Mm-hmm.
as a nation was
Mm-hmm.
when 9/11 happened. We were under attack.
That's
I was
true.
in New York. It was very impactful to be there at that time. I was lucky that I had a rental car and I was able to get out. I was one of the few lucky ones.
That's
So
amazing.
at that time, everybody pulled together. And you probably remember, we all had the little American flag magnetic things on our cars. We were proud to be
Mhm.
Americans. There wasn't this big divide, this hatred that we seem to
Mhm.
have now. And now
Yeah.
I think we've just gotten out of hand. The political thing, you know, everybody's taking sides. We need to come together and
Yeah.
stop this taking sides. And, you know, I've had to deal recently with people being curt with me. You know, I was at one point called, very uh, derogatorily, you must be the smartest person in the whole wide world. Wow,
Oh.
I've been wanting to get that award for a long time. So, and it's funny because I'm a B minus kind of girl, right? But people are getting very on edge with each other.
Yeah.
There seems to be so much competition, and we all need to stop. And I think somebody greater than we are, whether you believe or not, somebody's controlling all of this and saying, okay, you don't want to stop. I've tried to stop you. You won't do it on your own. I'll take care of it. So I think it's
Right.
a big wake up call. And I think we all need to get back to basics. We need to respect each other. You don't have to love somebody or deal with them all the time if you really don't like them, but you need to respect each other. That's the big thing for me. If somebody doesn't respect for me, I cut them off.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's such a good reminder that we're all going through this together,
Yes, we are.
all of us have people who love us, and all of us want to be healthy, and we all want the same things. I think sometimes we forget that, and it's like the us and them mentality, like those people over there blah blah blah, and it's like deep down we're all the same. Deep down we love each other. We want to the same things.
Right. And I
So
think right now more than ever, we need to check on each other. There's people
yeah.
that we know that are um, locked in pretty much. They've got some health issues. They can't go anywhere. You
Right.
know, pick up the phone, call them. I mean, just because we're social distancing doesn't mean that we can't care about each other, that we can't
Yeah,
stay in touch with each other. We can't laugh. I mean, we could have a virtual glass wine next time. I think we should do that.
we
Um,
need to.
we need to do that. We were pretty good at it in person, I think. So, but you know, stop thinking about yourself and think about other people and do what we need to do to help people. I mean, even with me
Yeah.
quarantining myself, I can still, you know, I have tons of stuff here. I can still help somebody out if they need it. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's our
Oh,
social
that's huge.
duty.
It is. There we go. I like that. We have social distancing, but we also still have social duties. It doesn't mean that we
Absolutely.
drop the one, when you pick up the other. So,
Absolutely.
oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Robin. I appreciate
You're
your
welcome.
time. So I'm going to stop our recording, and but thank you so much.
Thank you.